Hotline, a young man who will be running out at Sonoma this week and hopping back into the number 32 car. Boris said joins us. Hey, Boris, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
Hey, we're terrific. You got to be really happy about climbing back into a Cup car again, hooked back up with your old buddy Frankie, and ready to go racing.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited, and have a sponsor like Hendrick Automotive come on board with HendrickCars.com is really exciting. It's a great website and great company, and come on board with our Frankie Small team, I think it means a lot. So hopefully we can go out there and get a good finish for him.
Everybody always makes a lot about the road course ringers and things, and I got to believe that this is, again, one of those times when, like you said, you've got a good sponsor on there with HendrickCars.com. You've got some money behind the race car being able to get out there. Is this a time that you can kind of, once again, go to the front of this track?
I don't know. The competition's getting tougher and tougher every year, and it's still for a part-time guy like for me to jump in twice a year. The odds aren't with me, but that doesn't mean I'm going to try any less hard. Infineon Raceway or Sears Point, whatever they're calling it now this year, is really technical, and with the double file restarts, it's really rough, and it's easy, to get mixed up or turned around or have contact near the end. So you need a little bit of luck, but I'm pretty confident that we'll have a fast car.
Are you surprised at all, kind of the way the road course races in the Cup Series have changed? It seemed like for quite a for forever, nobody really laid a fender on anybody. It was just kind of trying to survive this sort of thing. But now they are really two of the more exciting races. There's more contact, for good or bad in the road course races than there are at Bristol, for that sake.
Yeah, I think the cars after Sears Point, they look worse than they do after Bristol. It's just the double file restarts just creates a lot of contact, and you try to be defensive, and you only get run over worse. So you got to be really aggressive and hope for the best. And that's the only way I know how to drive. So hopefully our HendrickCars.com car will be good, and we'll be able to stay out of trouble, but be aggressive and hopefully be there at the end, maybe top 10.
Yeah, the last few years, it seems like the guys who run well there, who are up towards the front, the regular guys on the Cup Series have taken some offense to you and others guys that come in and race hard in this one race, and I don't understand the thinking of them, believing that you should run less hard or not run for a win. Yeah. Does that bother you at all, that the thought process from these guys is that, when they see the 32 car, you should just move out of the way for them?
It bothers me a lot because it's not that I'm just driving one race. I'm driving and I'm hired by a team, Frankie Stoddard, that is running the whole series.
Right.
And for him, he wants to be in the top 35 in points. He wants the best job he can get, and he doesn't pay me to drive his race car to drive, 80%. He expects me to drive it 100%, or he'd hire somebody else. So it is, last year I had an incident with Greg Biffle, and it was turned really ugly, and I'm not proud of it, and I wish it never happened. But, yeah, he expects me to roll over because, he's in it for a championship, and I'm going to give a certain amount of respect and probably more respect to the guys that are running for a championship, but in the end, they need to give me that same respect I give them, and I'm going to run as hard as I can because, I have HendrickCars.com on the side, and I need to promote that website, and I need to get it to the front and show them that, we're not afraid of anybody. And that's how I've always driven, right or wrong. That's just the way I feel.
Of course, we're talking to Boris Said. Boris, are there certain drivers that do give you that respect and others that you just kind of know not to expect it?
Yeah, it's like that in anything, and for the most part, I've helped a lot of the NASCAR guys, and they've helped me when I tried to do ovals, and I think I get a lot of respect from a lot of those guys. So, there's just a couple guys, and it's like if you go to work with 100 people, surely there's going to be 3 or 4 that you just don't get along with. You're just not made to get along with that person, and that's the same way it is in racing. You got guys that get along, and you got guys that don't get along no matter what happens, and that's just the way it is, and right or wrong, that's just human nature.
Well, you've had a lot of laps at Sonoma. You've had a lot of laps at Watkins Glen. You know how to get around those racetracks. So I got to believe that, in your mind, how you want to attack this racetrack. and there's got to be other guys out there who probably have much less of a clue, and that makes your job probably even harder because you want to hit the line that gets you around the fastest, and yet you're dealing with people who don't know what that line is.
I guess I'd argue with you about that. I mean, 10 years ago, it seemed like the regulars didn't really care about the road races. There'd be 2 or 3 of them that were really good at it, and the other guys would just be like, it's just 2 races a year. We don't need to worry about it. And they didn't really put the effort into it. But over the years, I mean, they're all putting the effort into it. They're all getting really good at it. I mean, I believe that they're the best in the business driving a race car. And once they figured out the subtle differences between oval racing and road racing, I mean, it's like showing a duck water. And I think now it's the most competitive it's ever been. They're all really good at it. I don't think the road course, so-called ringers like we call us, really we don't have any advantage at all. We're just not at a big disadvantage. But and that's why these road races have turned into some of the more exciting races of the year. And you're going to see a lot of beating and banging, and you'll see a lot of tempers flare, and you'll see a lot of good racing. And that's why hopefully that's what keeps bringing the fans.
I see a picture when I went to Wikipedia and looked you up. There's a picture on here of you on one of Travis Pastrana's motocross bikes. And do you still get that itch to go motocross racing or motorcycle racing at all?
I mean, it's funny you say that because I'm looking at a Husky magazine right now, at Husky dirt bikes. and about a month ago, a couple friends of mine, 7 of us, took a trip. We rode motorcycles from San Diego to Vegas in the dirt, 460 miles. Wow. Over 3 days, and that was a really cool adventure. So yeah, I still like riding motorcycles a little bit, but mostly I spend all my time at my new BMW dealership that I opened up with Rick Hendrick about a year ago, BMW Murrieta. So I'm learning how to sell cars, and I put on my cheap suit every day and out there in the trenches, and I'm having a really good time with it.
Speaking of BMWs, talk a little bit about running the other series that you're doing this year and some of the other places that we can see you at.
Yeah, I mean, I'm running full-time in the Grand Am series, in the Rolex series and the Corvette, and in the Continental Challenge series and the Turner BMW, and I'm really enjoying that. I mean, Grand Am's done an unbelievable job, making, some competitive racing and putting on a really good show for the fans. This weekend I'm going to play hooky on that, though, so I can go to Sonoma and run the Cup car, because that's just still kind of on my bucket list to hopefully try to get a win in the Cup Series one of these days. So other than that, the rest of the year I'll be in the Grand Am Series.
All right, Boris, best of luck to you this week out at Sonoma. We'll be watching as always, and if you pull off that win, we'll be calling you again next week. We probably won't be able to get to you if it happens, but we'll try.
I hope I have that problem.
All right, good deal. Thanks, Boris.
Thanks.
All right. Boris said, next time we get him on, I'll have to talk to him about selling cars.